My friends, it is very easy in these times to become hopeless and tired. All you want to do is live in peace and know that your family and friends in Israel can do the same. It has been a long history, hasn't it, that the Jewish people have had to overcome. You know, as I mentioned at the outset, this was the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust. I learned a little bit about the Holocaust when I was with Erwin Kotler. We did the March of the Living. Prime Minister Harper had sent me there when I was on the mid-bench in the then conservative government. And of course, we arrived at Auschwitz, and we were surrounded by these beautiful young people who were all there to perform the march and then go to Israel. And I remember walking through those buildings and seeing all the horrors that still remain, the prosthetic limbs that were torn off of incoming victims, the sheared hair, the piles and piles of jewelry, of pots and pans, and countless other things. And I was reminded at how lucky we were to be Canadians. The great Canadian immigration minister, a liberal, I can praise a liberal once in a while, Clifford Sifton, had said he'd advertised Canada all over Europe as a land of great treasure. And this was well known throughout the early part of the 20th century. This was the land of great treasure. Everyone wanted to get to Canada. Not everyone did. We stumbled upon this building. It's a red brick building. And it was the place where the Nazis would accumulate all of the plunder, the most valuable treasures that came off of incoming prisoners. And so they named it Canada, after the land of great treasure. And as a sick and cruel joke, the Nazi guards used to say to prisoners who had to go and work sorting the jewelry that day they were going to Canada. And it made me, frankly, bawl my eyes out to think that my family made it here. We were no more deserving than the people who did not arrive. And so there was this sight of a Gentile in the corner of the room bawling his eyes out at Auschwitz, being comforted by Jews. A little bit later, we walked over to Birkenau, and a very elderly rabbi was walking alongside me when all of a sudden he stopped. And he told me that he remembered entering Birkenau as a very small child, and that was the place where Dr. Mengele had been standing when he walked through the door. This was not a concentration camp, it was an extermination camp. It was the most prolific. 10,000 people would die there in a single solitary day. But the one incredible morsel of hope that I took from that was that as the Psalmy was being sung out by a beautiful Hebrew cantor, Psalm 23, as we literally walked in the valley between the old wooden shacks on each side, there were big, beautiful Israeli flags in the hands of vibrant young people, the greatest symbol of all, to say that we are here, we survived, we are strong, we have a state, we are a people, an indigenous people, the longest standing indigenous people. The only people, the only story where the same people worship the same faith on the same land, in the same language, in the same country as 3,000 years ago. From the time of the Pharaoh, many monsters have tried to attack and destroy the Jewish people. All of them have been condemned to the trash can of history, and the Jewish people are still here. The Jewish people will still be here. The eternal Jewish people will always be here, and they will say the beautiful words in Hebrew, Yisrael Chai. Thank you.